On everybody, we are having a good time today. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of painting. Oh man, did I leave this in here? Oh my. Oh man. So one thing is, don't leave paint in your airbrush overnight and forget about it. I may have just destroyed my airbrush. Well, so much for that. Put some thinner in there. So that's how we're starting off the stream with a good lesson on how to ruin an expensive airbrush. I need to get some water real quick. I'll be right back. Wow, that was really fun. What a dummy. My goodness. Daddy just destroyed his airbrush. Not on purpose. Alright. I left paint in there and it dried and it filled it up. So now I gotta see if I can fade it. Yeah, I gotta try. All right. So, got some water. I'm gonna put some thinner in here, and hopefully it can be salvaged. Hello? No, I did not do that on purpose. This was kind of a spur of the moment stream because I was gonna do some painting on this, and I gotta do some Armada video content to work on in a little bit, and I wanted to do some painting first. Okay. So I'm gonna let that soak, and then we'll see if that works again, because I really have been having fun with the airbrush. And as you can see here on this, this is my AA5 speeder. I kind of did kind of a yellow interior and a blue exterior with a pink to purple stripe, and then kind of pink engines on the back. And that was kind of the theme that I kind of came up with. I put some tape over here. We got a super chat from Powell. What's going on, Powell? Thanks for the super chat. Yo, painting some Warhammer with my cat. Well, that is awesome. Hi there to Powell, and hi there to Cat. I also had a whole different painting project that I have been working on. I wanted to show you guys before I jump too far into the AA5, but I wanted to test this. I wanted to do my lat with kind of a lightsaber Vader, because I want him to carry Darth Vader. And so I wanted to make it look like his lightsaber, so I tested kind of a red and white sort of design, but I wanted to do a double layer with it. So after I did the red and the white, I put a thicker piece of tape down, or I put a tape over that. I put some like a dark purple, almost black, over the top of that, and then put a thicker piece of tape down, and then did the gray. And so while I was going to do the lat that way, I figured, hey, let me also do, because I had one repulsor tank that I did not like. So I said, let me also do the repulsor tank. So if I'm running clones, I can run these two together, and they will look all right. I got to redo the base on him, but here's how the lat is looking so far. I'm not done with this yet, but it's probably about 90% done. I just have some detailing I need to add, and I need to do the pilots. I didn't put the pilots in there yet, but I did make the cockpit pink because I thought it would look kind of cool. And it also kind of makes it look like it's lit inside, and then the pink is kind of like just a reflection of red light. So in the absence of having to put any LEDs in there, that's kind of how it came out looking. I did the light underneath, did a little bit of airbrush effect on that. And so that's kind of how my lat LE is looking so far. We got a super chat from Jason. What's going on, Jason? He says, that saber is looking freaking rad. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm hoping these two together will look pretty cool on the battlefield. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, and I'm going to probably redo his base. The cool thing about this is I was testing out the airbrush as I was going from white to red here, and then this came in, and towards the end I was going to add some, I didn't want to do a straight gray, so I have a little bit of blue in this paint, so I added some blue to it as I was doing all of this stuff just to test my airbrush out. And then at the end of the day, this was kind of what remained of the base. I had some of the stand taped off, so you can still see, you know, it's still clear. But I'm like, wow, I don't even think I want to base this now. I think this is probably good enough, at least for the time being. So yeah, so that much is pretty cool. But so that's you know, that's the Saber and the Lat right now. But those are not all the way done, but mostly enough done. But today I just did this one last night, and what I want to do is I want to do some wash in the lines here, because this is very cloudy. It's very light. But I want to put some wash in some of these lines and make those lines kind of pop a little bit more. I was thinking about putting a little bit of wash in the airbrush and spraying the whole thing down with a very light, thinned out wash. But since my airbrush is destroyed now, I don't think that's gonna work out all that well. So yeah, so there's that. Man, that's a bummer. All right, so let's see. What are we going to use? We're going to use this one. This one might work. This one's real thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight black here. I'm going to take a little Nuln Oil and a little bit of, this water is a little dirty, but I think it'll work. I'm going to mix some Nuln Oil and some water, get it nice and thin. And I want to do, it's like a pin wash, I think is what they call it, where you just, I don't apply the wash to the whole thing, I just do it to a little part. So that's kind of, so Jason, I'm not artistic enough to use an airbrush. I don't know if you have to be. Honestly, it's using an airbrush is almost like a cheat code. I think I need a little bit more Nuln Oil. Yeah, I need more Nuln Oil than this. There's not enough in here. So I'm gonna add, I'm just gonna pour a little bit in there. Oh yeah, that's a lot. So now this is like 5/8 Nuln Oil. Mostly Nuln Oil now. So I just want this in the lines. That's good, that's good. And some of it will kind of get around there a little bit, but at the end of the day, this should make all these lines pop a little bit more. And this will also go in the painted areas too. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. So this is just a pin wash on this. And oh man, this has the potential to look really cool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the base off because I don't want to end up breaking anything. When you're doing a big mini like this too, especially if you're just playing around with the airbrush, one of the first things I like to do is test out my airbrush, usually on something else, like the base. That's one of the things I do with the bases. Oh, by the way, here's how the base turned out for this guy. I was playing around with blues, trying to go progressively lighter, and then I did the lightest version around the lines too. So I'll probably do a little more to that eventually, but I thought it came out, I thought it came out well. But yeah, so one of the things I like to do is I like to use the bottom of the mini to hit with the airbrush, because it doesn't really matter that much if the bottom, like if you get some splatters or maybe that's not the right shade. You have a lot of room to experiment with the bottom. See, I'm gonna get this stuff in the painted strip as well too here. Can I zoom in a little bit? There we go. So I don't have the best setup for painting. I know some of the other guys have a better setup for painting. I don't paint usually on stream or very often, because usually painting for me it's one of those things that I don't do too much of, at least not on camera. I usually do it kind of by myself. It's my kind of peaceful, serene time. I'll put on an audiobook and I'll listen and paint. There we go. So you can kind of see it's making those lines pop a little bit more. And when I do this side, then we'll kind of compare it to the other side. Also, we get like a little before and after effect going on with this. I think it's going to end up looking really cool because I'm going to do a. The cool thing about this is I just did a whole bunch of painting. I don't even remember what, but I just finished a whole bunch of painting and thinking, man, this is a lot of work. But hey, you know what? For these guys, I only have the one mini. You know, well, two minis, I guess. I've got the lat and this, but you can really take your time when you just got one mini to get through. It's a little different, like if you get a whole unit of Death Troopers or something like that, and then you got to do them all. Or well, oh, see, I'm not even centered on the thing. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my camera in a little bit more, so because I think I'm painting about right here. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I that's perfect. All right, I think I'm lined up correctly now. You guys, let me know if I'm failing you here. I'm trying. Yeah, but if my airbrush was still working, I was gonna try and hit everything with a really thinned down Nuln Oil or something like this. I've got some other black inks that would have worked also. Some of the stuff from Green Stuff World might have worked well. And the airbrush with a wash is interesting because it doesn't really get into the cracks as much, but what it does is it kind of dyes the whole thing, but it does it evenly. One of the problems with trying to apply a wash to a large model is that you end up getting a lot of brush strokes, and that does not look good. So that's why I'm going with this pin wash right now, or just trying to get the individual spots. It takes a little bit longer, but the results really with a whiter or a very light background, it's really going to make those stand out. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I'm having a great day. I just picked up some Star Wars Armada venators. I had my, if you stick around to the end, once I finish with this, I'm going to show you guys my venator from my pre-order venator. If you're in my Discord, you've probably already seen it. But yeah, I got a destroyed Imperial Venator that I thought was pretty funny. It was like smashed, and I haven't even opened it yet. So you'll have to stay tuned for tomorrow's unboxing and see if it survived. But I'm not worried. They usually put a lot of packaging materials in there. And they usually, additionally, will fix it if it's broken, right? Or at least they used to. I haven't had to do any parts replacement since they changed the policy, but yeah. Oh yes, this is going to look really nice when it's finished. Oh, the other thing I did is when I put this, before I pulled this tape off, this is a tape effect. I put a little bit of black or like a dark gray around it to kind of make the paint pop a little bit. And maybe I did a little too much or more than I needed to, but overall, I think it works. It looks a little more natural than just seeing this really stark painted line. It makes it look a little bit like this vehicle has been used a couple of times. Maybe it's a little bit dirty, you know. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Are we still on the shot? Yes, we are still right in the shot. Man, I'm getting better at this. Maybe I'll do this again sometime. This beats having being all finished with audiobooks. I started listening to The Light of the Jedi. That's one of those the High Republic books. Because I was finished with all my Star Wars books. I finished Alphabet Squadron. I finished the last Thrawn book, which I love Thrawn. There's one more still coming up in the oh man, yes, that's looking cool. I gotta do stuff in here. I think I'm gonna do something totally different in here. I think I'm gonna use a bigger brush and put some in this vent. But let me just for here, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so we can get an idea of what this is doing. Here's it on the other side, and here's the top. And did I just put the whole thing in the wash? No, and here's it there. So it's making those lines definitely pop, which I think is cool. Which I think is really cool. It's really going to be more pronounced on the top as well, because we don't have the stripe on the top to kind of break up the model. So, yeah. So funny story. I was moving this around, and there's a fingerprint right here, and I had little bits of paint on my finger from some of the purple and the pink, and that's just gonna stay. I mean, it's just gonna be a little ode to imperfections and stuff. You know, I'm just gonna leave it there. It's just call it dirt, or maybe don't forget underneath. I'm not gonna wash the bottom. This is the bottom. I'm probably not gonna wash the bottom. I don't really think I really need to spend that time doing that because I'm not gonna see the bottom, right? It doesn't mean I won't. I'm not gonna completely ignore the bottom like I painted the bottom, but I might not do a whole lot more with the bottom, if I'm being perfectly honest. If you guys like to do the bottoms, then you absolutely should, but I've got too many games that I want to paint minis for, and I gotta try to think what's gonna work best if I'm like posting something to Instagram or whatever, and those bottoms aren't gonna get seen. It's a little different in Armada, because the bottoms are sometimes seen, especially I like to get those weird camera angles too. I like to get like this, you know, like down in the action shots, is what I call them. And so, and even for the taller minis too, like the snow speeder, you got to do the bottom for. All right, the lat LE, I did the bottom. Although I went a little bit, I kind of skimped out a little bit on the bottom. I didn't realize until afterwards. I'm like, I'm done. That's good enough. But at least got the bottom to an extent. I missed like 1 or 2 spots on the bottom that I'm like, I'm not going to go back for that. But I thought I did it, you know, mostly good enough. Mostly. I'm not going to do in the cockpit today. The cockpit is one that I'm going to do some different things with. I'm thinking like with this yellow, I think I want to put some like red chairs. I think I'm going like more like a maroon and yellow, kind of like I don't know, like red velvet cake kind of color. Even though you don't have yellow on red velvet cake, so think of like banana bread with some red velvet cake. I don't know why banana bread's on my mind today. My wife made some banana bread this week, and it was really good. So yeah, you're starting to see it, man. That's gonna pop really good, man. I'm liking this. Now these raised areas, I'm gonna do those also, but it works much better in the lowered areas, right? And this vehicle has a ton of lowered areas, so that makes it really, really cool. I'm not gonna do this line though. The reason being, that line is for this. And if I put wash in the seam where the top comes off, it's likely going to make that whole thing sticky and make it harder to go in and out. So I'm not going to wash that particular line because it's also, there's not actually plastic there to catch the wash. So it'll just go through and then drip or leak on the inside and stuff. And so I don't want to do, all that. But I'm excited for how this will turn out. I still have to paint the gun because the gun is white. That's going to be black. Well, actually, I might do this more of like a purple. Maybe I'll do like a metallic on this. Making a space ice cream truck. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I just wanted to pick a color scheme that I thought I'd have fun with. And also, like, I thought I wanted something that would kind of blend into my Rebels. And like my Rebels are like kind of a mixture. Right, I've got some stuff that's green and black for, you know, for those of you guys who know my music tastes, my favorite band is a band called Typo Negative, and they're also big into the green and black, and so I wanted to do that, but I'm like, I just don't think, usually a lot of vehicles just don't look as good in green and black, or I haven't found the right way to do justice to a green and black paint job yet. Like my previous attempts have just been kind of bad, and I think the solution is to go more of a gray and green instead of just a flat black. But that's you know, and I'll mess around with that another time. But I do have a lot of other Rebels that have more of a like a metallic and blue crossover. So this one I went a little bit whiter and blue as opposed to a gray and blue. But I figured after I was going to wash it, and that might make it look a little more grayish once the wash is done. And that's kind of one of the goals here. And I don't mind if this one's just going to be a little bit lighter and brighter, because my rebels can be ragtag. They don't have to be uniform. You know, I think it's the Empire and even the Republic are the ones that you really want to be uniform. They're the ones that it really matters if they're all the same, because they're the standing armies, you know. Even the Separatists, I think you can get away with doing different stuff with them, because they're more of a conglomerate of all these different federations that came together and formed something bigger. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, we're gonna do this part. Oh, this one's gonna be interesting, because this is only like a three-way, kind of recessed. Oh yeah, this is hugging the sides really nicely right there. See that? Compared to the one next to it, right there. Big difference. I like that. We're having fun today. If you like the stream, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up in the stream. Share it with your friends if you want. I can't do it right now. A lot of times, if I'm like at the computer doing stuff, I can do all the social media stuff, but when I'm painting, I can't do that because my hand's not on a mouse. I'll be probably a little slower to reply to the chat, although I'm trying to check in. Oh, that one went on a little bit thick. That one went on a little thick. Here, let's dump a little more into this side. Sop up that a little bit. Oh, that one. I'm gonna stick my thumb. I'm gonna use my thumb. Woo! All right. You know what? Hey, if you get it quick enough, see, there's still a little line there, but that's okay. It's okay. I got it on my thumb now. Let me wipe that off before I touch it, and then I get some thumb lines somewhere else. That's how I get fingerprints. That's how I get fingerprints, by the way. If you guys are just joining us, thanks for hanging out. We're doing some painting today. Legion stuff, the last of the new Legion stuff before the Kashyyyk wave has just come out, and so I've been kind of showing off some of the paint jobs. I'll show you guys the lat and the new Republic / Imperial color scheme that I'm going with again. I showed some people at the beginning of the video, and then stay tuned for tomorrow. We got a Venator unboxing coming out tomorrow. That one's going to be exciting. Armada's Wave 10 finally showing up. Oh, that one's a little thicker. Doesn't have. It's okay if it goes just around it a little bit too. I don't really mind. It'll be a little sloppy. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be a whole lot more neat than if I just threw a wash over the whole thing. We got another super chat from Pow. Thanks, Pow. I really appreciate the super chat. Pow says, gonna head out soon. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks, man. You have a good night as well. But yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for showing the channel some support. Thanks for supporting the stream. It really helps me out. And so thank you. All right, so we are just putting some, this is a Nuln oil mixed with water, although this is a little bit more Nuln oil than water. I wanted it to be a little bit darker since I'm not applying it so liberally. I'm being a little bit more restrictive with it, but I didn't want it to go on purely dark. And it's okay if some pieces get a little bit dirtier. I see some chat hoping one day they'll make Mandalorians. Oh yes. Well, they already have some Mandalorians, but I think there's definitely room and justification for more. I mean, they already said that they're working on stuff from the Mandalorian. I think we're getting close. I think 2022 will be the year for that. Did they say anything about Magna Guards in the next wave? Yes, they did. Magna Guards are coming in the next wave. We talked a little bit about them back in February. We know that they're going to be, in a lot of ways, similar to the Emperor's Royal Guard. They're going to have an AI type of effect that applies to how they use Guardian. And that they're not going to be able to use Guardian for like B1 battle droids. A Magna Guard has got programming, right? And he's not going to just use Guardian for just anybody. He's going to, I believe he's going to have Guardian that is restricted only to the commander rank, which is going to also mean that you can't potentially Guardian somebody like Darth Maul, which is fine. but that's just going to kind of impact the way you play, and give you a little more incentive to not take, you know, your cheap commanders, or to try, maybe more incentive to not use field commander, for example. So I'm already liking the way that this is coming out. You know, you can see, like before it was, we have no shading in there and no shading in the back parts here, but then from this angle we can see a lot more of that shading. It's bringing that paneling to life. I like it. I really do. I like the way that this is looking so far. We've got more to do. And the cool thing about when you layer this stuff too, if any of that paint comes off, like if I were to scratch it, we would see lines of like pink and stuff underneath, which is fun when you do the layered stuff. Although I don't do the pink and the purple everywhere. I only usually do it kind of in the main area, but I sometimes will do it everywhere because I didn't use any primer on this model at all. I just took the airbrush out and started spraying, and for the most part everything stuck fairly well. So, and I knew I was doing multiple coats anyway, so I don't think I needed to worry about primer. So I did not use any primer with this model, and that was kind of a fun way to do things. There are some times, like there was a part on the lat. I did the same technique with the lat. I didn't use primer on the lat. And that one, I got to a point when I kind of regretted it because on one of the wings, the little, you know, the tie panels, I got to a part that like I'd missed with the airbrushing because I wasn't focusing on that. And I realized, oh shoot, I didn't prime this. But now most of the mini's done already, and this one part doesn't have any primer. So I paid the price for that because I had to just apply, you know, some of that interior painting just a little bit more. So, so that was a little bit of a feels bad, but just meant I had a little more work to do. Okay, so I'm doing kind of this raised bit since there is kind of a line right around here. I'm not doing it too heavy right in here though, but I just want a little bit. Just a little bit to kind of draw those lines a little more, considering this is all so light. I want to draw those lines out. Oh man, I got a little bit right there. That's okay though. The Rebels are a little bit spotty, a little bit ragtag. That gives me a lot of license to make mistakes and not feel bad about it. You know, I like games that give you excuses when you make painting errors to not feel bad about it. My first big painting project ever was Zombicide by Simon. At the time, it was Cool Mini or not. And my go-to on any time I screwed up, and most of my screw-ups were when trying to do eyes because I wanted to paint everybody's eyes. Especially the zombies, because there was hundreds and hundreds of zombies in there. Every time I screwed up a zombie's eye, I would just take some red, I was using Blood for the Blood God paint, which was a really nice, wet, bloody look. And I would just kind of cover that area up with blood and say, hey, it's a zombie game. These guys are all bloody anyway. They've been eating brains and stuff. And, you know, it made for a good excuse. And that's kind of how it goes, man. This is so like it's nice to have those, you know, kind of like that plan B. Like, what are you gonna do when you screw up? Oh, I want to get the base of this. This is a tough one because I'm like, do I really want to get the base of this? Because I think I'm gonna be redoing this in like a darker purple or a metallic or something. No, we'll do it. We'll do it anyway. You see my table under here is disgusting, right? This is where I've been doing all my painting. I'm in the garage. It's Florida. It's oh wait, this whole thing comes off. Let me just do that. I didn't glue it in, and I didn't do much else with it because hey, it's I can swap it if I want. I'm not gonna swap it though. I haven't even assembled the other gun. I like the look of this gun better. But also, it's I can move it, and it holds in pretty good. So yeah, so that's the cool thing. You don't have to magnetize or do much else there. So I want to get those lines. Those are real nice and easy. They're nice, thick, deep lines too. Boom. Looking good. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do all of this later, this whole section right in here. Cackling Moon, your favorite paint mess up is authentic battle damage? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Battle damage is a great way to do it. I know some people take like a metal brush sometimes and do the scraping. I've got a brush that's like designed to do stuff like that. It's just it's not metal, but it's like a harder, like kind of like an old toothbrush kind of effect. And I think that's pretty cool. I've never done the scraping though. I know, especially on this model, since I didn't put primer on it, I'm like, I don't want to take off any more paint than I absolutely have to. But yeah, let's see. I'm going to go around these panels, and then I'm going to do these covers in the middle. Kind of go with that. All right. What are you guys thinking about transporting? Right? Because we've got the ability to get Wookiees into the battlefield pretty easily now. We've got we got new Wookiees that are coming out soon. We got fleet troopers now. We can transport fleet troopers very quickly. We can heal them up. We can have our own kind of portable medics that go right out into the middle of the battlefield. You don't even have to put a gun on this thing. You can just have it kind of function as a hospital in the middle of the road. So yeah, a lot of options there, which is very, very cool. I'm going to do these, and then I got to do the back bottom, and I'll probably do the other side too, but I can do the other side another time. Just wanted to kind of showcase what I'm working on here. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of build options for Rebels now, actually getting a true transport. And there's so much stuff in here, I think, that really works well with the air speeder also, which is a super cool like added bonus for this expansion. Like, I think this is one of those things that you'll just buy one of. You know, I mean, there's certainly advantages to buying two. You can like double up on the support aspect if you want. There's a lot you can do with two, but man, just going with one is a cool idea, because you can pair it with, it comes with two of almost everything that you might want to put on the land speeder as well. So I really want to kind of experiment with some build ideas of running a land speeder and an AA5 together. I think that'd be a fun double heavy list to run. And the Rebels didn't even need it because they could already run double heavy, right? They've already got the snow speeder, or the air speeder, I guess. So we got our land speeder and our air speeder. Okay. My kids are playing Minecraft in the other room. I can hear them. They're having a good time. Today is the first day of summer vacation. How many of you guys watching have children that are now on summer vacation? Let me know. Sean is in the chat. What's going on, Mr. Sean? I didn't show you this one yet. This is my AA5. And this was this was kind of just a little experiment. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the chat, but I destroyed my airbrush. So I guess I won't be airbrushing anything else unless I can save my airbrush. I left a whole bunch of paint in the reservoir and in the tube overnight. And I left the freaking compressor on and everything. So I come and I push the button and it goes. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I got it soaking in some water right now. I'm gonna have to soak it in paint thinner. But I've done this before to an airbrush, and like you can maybe get it to blow a little bit again, but it's, you know, at least the last time it was never quite as good as it was initially. I gotta be more careful with stuff like that, man. That's turning out really good. I love that detailing. It's making those panels really show up. This is fun. This is not hard either. I don't have the steadiest of hands, you know, and it helps that I've thinned it down so much. So even if I spread out a little bit, you know, it's It's totally forgivable. Makes it just look like dirt or grime. I mean, and it probably wouldn't even be that noticeable from table length too. I'm zoomed in pretty close here. You know, like you can see some of those imperfections, but like far away, you're not going to notice that stuff. You know, so yeah, no, this is looking good. I'm kind of pleased. Kind of pleased. Still more work to do though. Still more. So yeah, I've got some airbrush cleaner. Also I've got the whole kit for it. I'm just not sure if it's gonna work. We're gonna see. We're gonna see, but thank you. We can what usually I used to use like a solution of like water and like an airbrush cleaner, which is like partial thinner. And I used to like have this mixture, and I would just soak my brush in that when it was done, like overnight. That was a problem I was running into with the airbrush, though, is that it was so much work. Like when you were done, there was so much maintenance time to get it cleaned up and put away. And especially since sometimes you need to let something soak for a long time, you have to also remember to come back to it. And there's so many things that can distract you. And that's, of course, what it is for me. I set the airbrush down because, oh, hey, can you brush the kids' teeth and get the kids ready for bed? And so then I go inside, and then I forget to come back outside because it's Florida and it's hot. And the garage is where I'm at right now is very hot. And so I don't come back out. And then, I pay the price for that. Because I am forgetful. So sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a forgetful crab who started off as an airbrush dude until he took a nap. He slept right through his alarm and didn't save the brush. So now the paint dried inside and something that rhymes with brush. That's my hymn. It's my sad tale of woe. Started off as a Gilligan's Island theme and just turned into a spoken word, kind of William Shatner-esque nonsense. So the High Republic first book, Light of the Jedi, not terribly bad, actually. I really wanted to hate it, but I don't hate it. It's actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good book. It's written very well. I don't really care about the time period, but for what it has so far, I think it's written well. And I think it was a strong start. I'm not done with it though. I'm only like maybe 5 chapters in, but I like the way it's beginning. I don't know if I'm gonna buy any more High Republic books. Because generally Star Wars books are not very good. That's my general experience. They tend to be mostly trash. But I love them anyway because they're Star Wars. There are some exceptions to that. Like Timothy Zahn is obviously an exception to that. Lost Stars was a really good book. That one was definitely an exception. I surprisingly loved Dark Disciple. And I think those were the only ones that really the standout specials to me. Was all of Timothy Zahn's Thrawn books, Dark Disciple, and Lost Stars. But as it stands right now, Light of the Jedi has the potential to be up there, kind of like in the top 5, although I'm grouping all the Thrawn stuff together. Dude, I love the way this is looking right now. I do. I got some fingerprints and little smudges. I got a little smudge back here. But compared to how it started out, it's looking real good. Really good. Good. All right. All right, let's see here. I missed some of the chat. He might use the AA5 as terrain. I could see that maybe. Paint fumes are getting to me. Finally caught me live. Yeah. Yeah, that's haven't been doing as much live stuff, but every once in a while, you know, I might do another live stream later this week or this weekend. We don't have another double critical this weekend because this is going to be the 5th Sunday in a month, which is interesting. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Oh, I didn't do that. I do that. I heard that one. There we go. All right. So we're just going to do this other side, and I think we'll be done with our highlighting or our pin washing or whatever. It's not highlighting. I don't think I need to do highlighting. I think the airbrush, like I did white and then I did some blue. I think that the different shades of airbrushing cover all the highlighting that I would have needed to make. So this is taking the place of that. This is low lighting, right? Is that? I don't think that's a real word, but it can be. I mean, I still got more. I'm gonna spend time working on the interior. I'll do that another day. And then of course the guns. I gotta do the guns, but the interior can wait. I gotta do the driver too. Haven't done him. Oh, I did screw one thing up. I'll show you guys the lat in a minute because I glued the top part on before I put the drivers in, and now I can't get the top driver in. Like it won't fit unless I break the model apart again, and I'm not going to do that because it was hard getting the top on. The top did not want to fit for me. So I'm not only going to have one driver in there. When I'm okay with that because I don't think you would see him anyway. Him or her. I don't think you would see them anyway. And in some cases it's absurd because, like, especially if I'm using like Governor Price, I might, like, she's not going to be piloting the thing. She's going to be in the freaking cab barking out orders. She's not going to like do the work. You know, she's not going to drive. Well, I mean, she probably could. If the books tell me anything, it's that Orinda Price was a capable individual. However, she also became kind of obsessed with power and very selfish. She was a good Imperial, wasn't she? Very selfish. Oh man, I love how this is looking. This might be my favorite mini of the year. What? And the dog's scratching at the door? The dogs want to go out too? Oh boy. Well, we're close to being done. We are close to being done. I think I'm nearing a stopping point. I'm going to go let the dogs out, and then I'll come right back. So I'm going to take a quick break, but I will still be here with you guys. I'm going to I'll shout because my kids are not letting the dogs out. They're supposed to, but they're not. All right, there we go. Here's the kind of long distance view of it. I'll be right back. Let's go see who's got to go pee-pee. The dog is going to go pee-pee. What are you doing, doggy? You got to go out? You got to go out? Hey, why don't you let the dogs out? They got to go. They're going crazy over here. Oh my goodness, the doggies are going crazy. They need water too. All right. Oh my goodness. Christian, can you get the dogs some water and then let them in when they need to come in, please? Thank you. I'm still here. All right. That was our commercial break. We are back. All right. How many did I lose? We're still here. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we're going to finish up because I've got to do a little more. What did I do with? I can put this back on for right now, at least. Oh man, I love how that's looking. Oh, dude, that's so freaking cool. Compared to just being straight up blue and white before. Oh, I love it. Love it. All right. What did I do with the windshield? Oh, yeah. There's the windshield. There we go. That's it, man. Oh, it's so good. All right. Maybe I'm being a little crazy right there. Maybe I'm overestimating how good it looks, but I am particularly proud of it. I like it. And that's all that matters. You know, you do something, be proud of it, enjoy it, and then run that army, you know? Paint that army, pick your color scheme, and then you get to run that army. So there's a whole fun aspect. That's one of the things I like about this game too. You come up with that color scheme, you get to, you field them all. You have them fight together. You make them earn those colors, you know? You put them out there and oh yeah, and this is looking good in the pink too. Getting that those panels to pop a little bit. Let's zoom back in. There we go. All right. Well, see, the hard part about doing this side, I don't need that in right now actually, is that I opened this. Oh, so a really interesting thing. So how many of you guys saw the ruling on this thing or are familiar with a recent ruling on the AA5? If you are shooting and you have modeled it such that both doors are open, then people can shoot through it. Like, as in you can physically see, right? So if the doors are modeled and this thing is open, you can shoot through it. That is unexpected, but I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it's wow. That is a surprising thing to me. And I didn't know that it was going to be that way when I modeled it the way I did. I just wanted one door open, one door closed. Now my lat is certainly modeled the other way around. I modeled the lat such that both of the doors are open, but I just thought that that looked better for something like that. I probably should have done that one the other way too. But yeah, I just wanted them to look a little different. That's kind of how it worked out. But that was a surprise to me as well, that was the ruling. And, you know, I think to myself, like, well, it makes sense. It would be harder to justify the other way around. Like, but I can see the mini, but I still can't shoot it, you know? Like, that wouldn't make much sense. So, you know, thematics makes sense. And of course you can homebrew stuff. If you don't like that ruling or whatever, then sure, change it for your home play. I thought of a really cool ruling that I think makes sense, that I thought I want to talk about in another video. But you'll have to wait for that one because I got to think it through a little more before I bring it to the internet. Because I like to have some wacky rules, you know. Do you think there will be any more official terrain pieces that provide interior aspects to your map? Interior stuff? I don't know. That's a really good question. I can tell you this. There's certainly a lot of aftermarket stuff doing all the interior terrain. I don't think they'll do a whole lot of official stuff that give you a lot more interior terrain, to be honest, because this game is all about the exterior stuff. and you know, only if it's like, the only way I think you would see something that has interior capability is if it also has exterior capability. So like if they do an AT-AT, for example, as a terrain piece, you might actually see like, you know, a little area in the middle where you can actually have dudes fight on like the inside of it if like both doors are open. Something along those lines. That's a possibility, I think, but I think that's about as close as you get. Just because this game isn't really made to be an interior game, right? And now, if they come up with interior battles as a whole new mode of play, then yes, because there's things that, you know, Sean and I have played interior battle reports or an interior battle report before, and there's certain rulings. There's certain rules that don't make sense and to apply with Legion for interior battle reports. So there's certain changes, you know, that you kind of have to make, and some things that like jump It doesn't make sense in an interior, you know, map, but it could make sense in some interior maps, and it really depends on the interior map, you know. So, you know, like I used Vader to kind of Vader's new 1-pip on an interior map to pull somebody like through a wall, although that didn't really make sense. We probably shouldn't have done that, you know. So you kind of have to go through all of the force abilities and be like, okay, which one of these should work and which one of these shouldn't work. And you kind of have to like identify those in advance, you know. And so that's one of the problems that comes with, you know, interior stuff like that, is all the extra legwork you have to kind of do in advance. Which isn't, I mean, it's not out of the question, but I think FFG, if FFG were to support, I'm sorry, AMG now, if they were to support something like that, like officially, they would kind of be on the hook for answering a lot of those questions. And I don't know if they really want to do that, because that could be a lot of work. We are almost done. We are almost done. I mean, I've got more that I need to do because I'm going to come around to the vents. Add some more color into these vents and darken them up a little bit. But I like the way that this is looking. I'm going to show you guys the lat again and give you a little preview of what to expect from this Armada Venator unboxing, because oh man, my Venator got thrashed. Well, let's just say thrashed. All right, so I like it. Oh, I got a little more up there I gotta do. I missed some bits. Missed some bits right here. There we go. This is such a nice technique of just getting the spots that you want. And you can do this in other colors too. Like if instead of just using a standard wash, if you just use like if you have a black base and you use like a thinned out red, you can get this into those cracks and make it really bright and kind of have like a Tron style effect, and it can look really, really cool. It's harder to do. It's harder to make it look right and everything, but I've seen it done and it looks really, really cool. So yeah, that's the AA5. So I don't have a before and after to show you anymore because I did my before side also. So that much is really cool. If you guys missed earlier, here's the lat. And I did both doors open for that. I did a little bit of the interior there as well. I put some lights in the top and like that. I did my cockpit. As you can see, like you can't get in there. There's no way I can't get anything else in there. So that seat's going to remain vacant for right now. It needs underglows. It has a little bit. There's little bits of it underneath that have a little bit of pink residue left over from airbrushing, and I feel like that's probably good enough. I'm going to add some more highlighting, a few more panels here and there. I've done some panels here and there, so I'm going to add a little bits more detail, but this one's mostly done. This, you know, I'm going to get these steps probably on like a metallic and things like that. Probably put a little bit more on these particular gun platforms here, and then of course put a driver in. I'm not magnetizing. I'm going to go with the Imperial TIE Pilot in black as the driver, because I think I'll use this one more with the Empire. But even so, oh no, I got some. What is this? I got some red stuff on there. Uh-oh, got some blood on the windshield. That wasn't supposed to be there. I just realized that now. That's a bummer. Oh well, it's blood on the windshield. I guess they hit somebody. Well, that's what happens, man. Somebody got in the way. Yeah. So that's kind of how this is gonna. So I'm gonna have one pilot in there, and I can use him for either or. I mean, I don't mind there being a pilot dressed in black that's piloting a Republic one. I don't think it'll be that noticeable. And here's the repulsor tank to kind of go with that color scheme. So if I'm running a double heavy Republic match, there's that. Oh, so let me show you my Venator real quick before I sign off. This is what came from Asmodee. Look at this. It's torn on the inside after being sealed, right? Like this thing got like drop kicked. I think that they saw that this was going to Crabbok and said, "Hey, that dude has criticized our delays and stuff like that. So let's drop kick. Let's do to this thing what we want to do to his face." That's what I think happened there. I'll note that the shipping box is in perfect condition, so it's not like the UPS did not do that. But pretty interesting. We'll have to wait and see. All right, you guys, that is all I have for today. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. A big thanks to all the super chats today. Thanks for everybody for supporting the channel. Big thanks to my patrons. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you. And as always, have a great day.